Hey guys, have you ever wondered what it means when a photographer tells you he's using a 50 millimeter lens or a 70 to 200? Well, stick around because today's video is all about focal length. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Tim Talks, and today I'm going to be discussing what is focal length. Have you ever looked at a lens and seen it read 5 mm or 70 to 200 mm on the lens? What you're looking at when it says that is the focal length of that lens. Your focal length is a primary measurement from the rear focal point of the lens to the sensor when the lens is focused on infinity. So what that means is light comes into that lens, the lens focuses that light to a point, sends it out the back, and then it hits the sensor of the camera. The length, or the distance rather, between the back of the lens and the sensor is your focal length. So what focal length is that distance between the rear of the lens and the sensor. Now this varies between lenses. That's why some lenses will be marked 50 millimeters, while other lenses, especially variable lenses, might be 70 to 200 or 35 millimeters. Now that focal length tells you one thing. It tells you that lens's field of view. The smaller the focal length, the wider field of view on that lens. And the larger the focal length, the more magnification you get from that lens. Now your normal human vision runs somewhere between 25.5 millimeters and 40 millimeters. This is, there's variables in there because all our eyes are different. Plus your eye doesn't necessarily line up to the way a lens works. What we consider in photography a normal field of view from a lens is 50 millimeters. So that means if you have a 50 millimeter lens on your camera is going to shoot approximately what you see with your eyes. Some people suggest that 35 millimeters more closely approximates the eye than 50, but the standard measurement that most people use when photographing is 50 millimeters. Also, another thing to consider when you're looking at the focal length of the camera is as the numbers that are lower, let's say 16 to 18 millimeters, give you a much wider area of view. Sometimes if you go lower than that, you get into what's called fisheye. We've all seen the fisheye videos. It was real common in like skateboarding videos from the 90s. It warps the picture on the outside. You can actually use these to your benefit a lot of times when you photograph. Wider angle lenses, which are lenses with lower focal lengths on them, that give you a wider field of view, also tend to distort a little bit. That's one of the reasons we don't take portraits with wide angle lenses. It's very unflattering on the face. But when you do architecture and stuff like that, if you're not trying to photograph the building, mathematically perfect, but you want to kind of bring out those arches or widen the arches, if you're shooting an arch, say at like the Pantheon or something like that, you can put on a wider angle lens and you get that distortion, which can actually add to an artistic effect of that. Another thing with a larger focal length lens, let's say a telephoto that runs from 70 to 200. As you zoom in and you get close to that 200, you get kind of what's called background compression, where it'll bring something in the background a lot closer to your subject. So say you're in New York Harbor and you're across from the Statue of Liberty. If you take that photo of that person standing there with, say, a 50 millimeter, the Statue of Liberty will look much further behind them than if you were to take it with a 200 millimeter. It'll pull that statue in closer to the back of the subject, kind of compressing the distance between the back of your subject and the background. This is just, an initial primer to the focal length on the lenses. I hope it's helpful to you guys. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe if you find it in any way helpful. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a good one.